conditions since Paris. Does that mean IOC is totally confident for the Paris Olympics AIN's condition?
What way? What do you mean?
So what is the reason we're not changing the any AIN's condition? Because
No, I mean, we fully believe in how things were delivered in Paris, and we had the discussion that we need to ensure fairness, of course, and other things are respected, and so we decided that everything would remain the same, and we have the ANOP group that was set up in Paris. We will have an ANOP group revising with the international federations as well. So we felt that it was the most fair at this point to keep everything the same.
Thank you. A colleague just 2 rows behind. Yeah, okay, we turn it the other way around. Doesn't matter, Victoria. All good? No. Gentlemen.
Thank you a lot. Andrea Faticati, Courier, Austria. I would like to know when we are going to speak also about the Paralympics, when they will start, I think in March, if I'm not wrong, and how much the climate change affects the Winter Olympic Games generally, and if they aren't as they will be in March, it will be much hotter, warmer. So how does it affect?
Well, the Paralympic Games always follows the Olympic Games, so that doesn't change. When it comes to climate, that's changing every day, not just for winter, but also for summer. And I think in most of the cases, from what we've seen from the winter climates, it's shifting from February to March, so it might actually still be colder in March. I don't know if Pierre would have any more details specifically on the temperatures in March. That's not something I have looked at, but again, in the working groups on the program, it was to ask them to also look at the timing of the games, taking into consideration the environmental changes that we're seeing. And again, not just from a winter perspective. I think we're seeing it happen and come quicker in winter games, but we're seeing it on a summer games. And now I was just in Tokyo for the World Athletics, but actually this World Championships is about 2 or 3 weeks later than when they normally would have had it because of climate. So it's impacting us as a group, as a sports movement together, and we have to have those conversations about how we foresee things in the future and how are we going to adapt the historical timing of things to ensure that we can still hold sports events around the world. You're welcome.
Hello, Michele Novaga from Different Media International Agency. Is the Olympic Committee ever considered to ban Israel from participating under the Israel flag? Probably partly you answered during this press conference, and in case not, how the committee preparing to ensure the safety of the Israeli delegation in light of the violent protest against Israel over the past 2 years? Thank you.
Thank you. This executive board and in no other executive board have we discussed not having NOCs represented. We have spoken and we continue to speak through the organizing committee and the COCOM and the reports that we heard from the Italian security, I don't know if it would be security forces or what the correct wording would be, but those conversations happen for every single Olympic Games. The priority for the organizing committee, for the host country, and for the IOC is to ensure safety of all our athletes and fans and anyone that comes into contact with the Games, and those processes have not been changed and they will continue as per normal.
Thank you. Then we do 3 more from the phones, and then we do 1 more here, and I would say then we let the president's voice to go on a weekend. Okay, we start on the phone with Lisa Wash from Deseret News. Lisa, I would be surprised if the question is not about 2034.
I would never want to disappoint you. Thank you very much. President Coventry, I'm wondering in your discussions about the state of the world right now, if you talked at all about what recently happened here in Utah, and I'm talking about the fatal shooting of a conservative political activist on a college campus, not far from one of the Olympic venues. Was that part of your discussion? And can you talk about what concerns that incident may be raising in terms of the ability to protect the athletes, the spectators during an Olympic Games? I know you just referred a little bit about security in terms of Israel, but I'm wondering if this violent incident has raised more concerns and what discussion there has been around that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking my question.
Thank you, Lisa. So the discussions today were not focused on one specific event. I asked the executive board that we have a discussion looking at things in the global context. So looking at all the conflicts and all the controversial points that have happened, whether it be in the US or anywhere else. We looked at it as a holistic point to say, as a movement, where do we stand? What do we stand for? And again, it was very clear from all of us that we stand for our values. And in today's world, we believe in those values, and that those values are really important. They're important to be able to share with the world. They're important to spread. They're important to be able to educate. They're important to, at the end of the day, build a better world through sport and to unify people and to break down barriers. So that's how we discussed things today. And to be very honest with all of you, that's how I would like to continue discussing things, because I don't think it's just one event or we can take just one conflict over the other. There's more and more things that are not our proudest moments as humanity, right, happening around the world. And I think we have to acknowledge all of them, and we have to be able to say, how are we going to deal with this as a whole moving forward? Thank you.
Thank you. Now we go to Tracy Holmes, Australia, very late at night.
Thank you, Christian. Thanks for taking my question, President. And it's about the women's category again. I'm just wondering if it would be correct for us in the media to suggest that it's been taken away from a human rights focus and moved much more towards a medical focus. And I know you're respecting the anonymity of the members of your working group at the moment, and I respect that. But just wondering if there are not neutral people, but outside people who also bring their expertise to the working group's discussions, or whether it's purely based on members from international federations.
Thanks, Tracy. The expert working group is only made up of experts. The international federations we will have interactions with, and they are talking to, but they're not formal members of the working group. And they are experts that are coming from human rights, from medical, and from legal, as well as from the sport movement.
As a quick follow-up, if I can, have you heard from any of the previous athletes who have been impacted, particularly with regard to the DSD scenario and lifelong impacts that they have felt, and whether their experiences play into the working group?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. The athletes that the working group will be speaking to all stakeholders, so not just the IFs, but they will be speaking to athletes across the board, athletes that are competing, athletes that are no longer competing, athletes that have gone through transitions, athletes that would potentially be classified maybe DSD. The group has been asked to not leave anyone out. Because again, I don't think that we can truly find a consensus without having at least spoken to everyone that this impacts. So that is why there's also no time limit, because to set a very restrictive time limit for this group to do the adequate and necessary conversations that they need to have, I think is really very important, and probably more important than setting a very strict deadline to them. So they will be consulting with everybody.
Thank you.
And then we have one more question from the Zoom call, and that's from Karolas Groman from Reuters. Karolas, greetings to you.
Greetings. Hope you can see me and hear me.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time today. A question on the AINs, if I can go back to that. Has there been any contact with the Russian Olympic Committee ahead of this decision today? And also, do you have a specific number or a general number in mind, given the strength of Russian athletes, especially at Winter Games? Thank you very much.
Thank you. We do have an idea on the numbers, and for the technical side, I'll pass that to Piers so I don't get the numbers wrong, because there's obviously specifics in that. We have communications with all of our NOCs consistently. With the ROC, I can also pass over to James in terms of the first part of the question there, Carlos. We can start with Pierre.
Yes, thank you. So we are working with the international federations to understand, with this decision taking place today, what is the pathway for a number of athletes to still qualify for the Games. You've heard probably from some of the federations at their board or general assembly level, they have not opened the door themselves to the participation of AIN athletes. So we'll have to work with those which still have a decision to make or have made a decision. This is the case, for example, of the Skating Union Federation, Ski Mountaineering Federation. There is a board upcoming for the International Ski Federation that could also open the door to a number of athletes to be qualified. So we are working closely with them to understand where are possibilities to still qualify for the Games moving forward.
Maybe just to pick up on what the President said, yes, of course, we have numerous contacts with all the National Olympic Committees. We need to make sure that those contacts remain even in difficult periods to ensure that there could be a pathway to come back at some point.
Thank you. And then we have the last question here from the room. Okay, President, are you up for two more? We take the two more. We start with the gentleman here, and now we take the gentleman over here.
Grazie, due domande velocissime. Francesco Perugini, Rai Lombardia.
Thank you. Rai Lombardia, Francesco Perugini. President Coventry, you talked about having been able to speak with law enforcement and authorities here in Italy. Have they guaranteed the fact that they'll be able to look after the security and safety of athletes and competitions? And for Mr. Ducret, after this monitoring, and after looking at the very critical points of the venues or facilities, what do you think we need to focus on as we draw closer to the Games? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. And we have the full commitment from and the guarantees from all stakeholders, from the OCOG and government, from the regions. There is zero part of me that doesn't feel that they would fulfill all of those. And we're, again, as I said before, working very closely with them, especially when it comes to security matters, and that will not change. And so far, we've had an incredible relationship with them, and they've been fully committed to ensuring the safety for everyone, to welcome the world to Italy.
And when it comes to readiness, when you get this close from the games, the kind of program that become the focus is simulation testing. So that's very much what the organizing committee is doing at this point in time. They're running a number of scenarios where they prepare themselves for all that can happen. They are preparing also, of course, the final delivery of the venues. We have test events coming up. There is a short track test event, the speed skating test event coming in November. There'll be test event in ice hockey. So all these simulation, whether they are around the table or in the venue, have a sole purpose to make sure that the team that has been assembled and that is working towards the games is as ready as can be when the competition starts. So the readiness phase is going very well. It's happening in very close collaboration with the International Federation, with the IOC. So we're going to work only closer over the next, I'm not sure how many days that is, but 140 something. Thank you.
And then we go for the last question here for the gentleman in green.
Sì, buonasera, Marco Cangelli, Sport Mediaset. Volevo chiedere alla Presidente.
Good afternoon, Sport Mediaset. I wanted to ask the President with regards to winter sports, do you intend in the future to include cyclocross and cross-country disciplines, and also as regards summer sports, whether you received any requests from Italy for 2036, and if you rediscussed the bid put forward by Bologna and Florence?
Thank you for the question. In terms of specific, and I speak under the guidance of a peer here, is specifically on the cross country and I think, did you say the downhill? Did I hear that correctly?
Cross country and cyclocross.
Oh, it's cyclocross. Got it. Yes, I believe there have been some different conversations. Again, you can give a bit more background because that was not really under the discussion today. So I'll let Pierre handle that because I don't want to give you the wrong information. To my knowledge, I don't believe we've received anything for 2036, unless I look at the team, if they've heard anything different. So not that I know of for 2036. And then maybe Pierre, if you want to just jump in with the facts on those.
Yes, on this request, the first element to do is go back to what the President answered before. If there is a consideration to be made of including what we can define as per the Olympic Charter as summer sport and disciplines, this will be referred back to the working group for us to be able to consider, is this feasible or not? But yes, we do know there is interest on the French side to consider such events to be part of their program. So we are discussing with them, but first and foremost, we will need to see what is the outcome of the Olympic Program Working Group so that we can find out if there is a path for this to happen or not.
Thank you very much, everyone. Before we go, and as we are in Italy, the country of design, we have currently the medal design competition ongoing for the Olympic Games Dakar 2026. Last time we had 3,000 entries, and it would be good to have as many this year. So please tell your readers and all your clients and all your friends about it. We look forward to receiving their proposals. Good afternoon. Looking forward also to be back in February.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.